Evening. Tomorrow, normally one of the busiest travel days of the year.
But health officials worry that holiday travel just might make the current COVID surge even worse. Take a look at these numbers. The AAA estimates 50 million Americans will travel by plane, train, or automobile this week. That's only down slightly from the same time last year. Passenger levels are already on the rise again. This past weekend was the busiest 3 days at airports since the pandemic began. 7 Eyewitness News reporter NIKKI DEMENTRI looks at the state of holiday travel here in Western New York.
Planes, trains, and automobiles. It's the eve of America's busiest travel day of the year, but that's all relative during the pandemic. AAA estimates at least a 10% drop in travel for 2020's Thanksgiving.
Taking a look at your average travel day this year and the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, it's definitely going to be busier both in the airports and on the roads than what we've grown accustomed to.
Rising COVID cases, warnings from officials, and the pandemic in general may be to blame for the drop. Elizabeth CAREY with AAA says 95% of all holiday travel will be on the roads.
One of the reasons for that, it has flexibility. You can decide at the last minute, you know what? I'm going to leave my car parked and I'm going to stay at home and I'm not going to go.
For road trips, CAREY suggests planning ahead, packing snacks to limit stops, bringing hand sanitizer, and wearing a mask.
While the Buffalo Niagara International Airport estimates upwards of 1,700 passengers each day on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this holiday week, the airport is still not seeing the surge in passengers other airports across the country is seeing, and part of the reason is because the Canadian border remains closed.
We kind of hoped it would be open by now, and then maybe by the beginning of the year, and then maybe by our big spring break periods. I don't see that happening.
Almost a third of NFTA's passenger base comes from Canada. NFTA Aviation Director William VANECek says it's nearly impossible to make up those losses as the border closure continues. The other part of the reason, VANECek says, statewide travel restrictions. The Buffalo Airport is seeing almost double the number of passengers outbound than inbound this holiday week, but it's still only a fraction of the 7,500 average daily passengers.
I haven't really traveled much because I was staying at school, but the airports are a lot less crowded than normally at this time of year.
That's Macy Baxter. She came home for Thanksgiving from college, flying through Chicago. Likewise, Anastasia Cassiani is a UB student flying home to Long Island for the holiday.
It's safe and everything like that, and everyone stays their distance, so I think it's not the worst thing as long as you're safe.
And 8-year-old Owen Charles is also headed downstate with his parents.
We're in this airport because we are going to take a trip to New York City, and we're going to spend Thanksgiving there.
As for the remainder of the holiday season, VANECek predicts it'll be slow.
It's a pretty quiet and, I hate to say it, almost a depressing situation, quite frankly.
NIKKI DEMENTRI, 7 Eyewitness News.